3, 2, 1.
This is the Mac Media Show.
Welcome to the Mac Media Show, everyone. This is the Me and Ree Review Show. My name is Mac.
And I'm Ree.
And we are the two that review for you, America. Welcome in. This is our podcast every Thursday. We're talking about $1 Million Listing LA here on the Me and Ree Review Show. Ree, we always start off, we've been starting off the past couple of weeks with our rating of the show. I'm going to just start off by saying I think last night's show was better than last week's. And what do you think? What do you give it out of 10, Ree?
I give it an 8.
Give it an 8.
I thought it was good.
8 out of 10.
I like it.
Last week you gave an 8 out of 10.
Did I give an 8 last week?
Yeah.
Okay, I may want to say 8.5 because I did like this episode a little better.
Right, there it is. Figured. All right, well, we got an 8.5 from Ree. I'd say I'm about the same. I may be saying 7.5 or 8, a little bit lower. But I think it was a good episode. A lot happened. We followed Josh Altman, Josh Flagg. We saw Matt Altman in the show. We saw Heather. So we saw everyone that we don't always get to see everyone. So that was interesting, and I love it always. I really like it when they start to connect storylines. And this week we saw Josh Altman, who was stealing Josh Flagg's pictures on a property, which was interesting. You talk about that, Ree. Give your opinion.
I wouldn't call it stealing. I don't even know if he knows who did the pictures, honestly, because the owner had them. Right. So, I wouldn't call it stealing, but he should have checked to see who had done the pictures because you're supposed to do them yourself. But they were good pictures. There's no reason in putting them through that again or the cost. So, they never did approach that, though, through Josh. Altman, excuse me. Right. Because Josh Flagg, that was a cute thing he did. Saying send them this invoice and tell them to send that money to a charity of their choice, which I thought was a cute way of saying you copied my pictures. Yeah.
Well, it must not be a terrible thing to do. I mean, I'm sure
it's not illegal. You can do it, but the thing is, unless he had a copyright on it or something, which I'm sure he didn't. But right. But the just the idea of it, But like I said, I don't know that Josh Altman even knew, Josh Flagg. Well, I guess he did know he had them taken. Because he knew he had the listing before, so.
Well, they were nice pictures.
They were very nice, yeah.
And do you know the name of that property?
That property is, I believe, the Dorothy Chandler estate.
Dorothy Chandler?
Yeah, I believe that's what it is.
This house was incredible.
Oh, gorgeous.
They were asking $10,600 for it. Mm-hmm. And lots of history in this house. You're not selling so much the house and the property, but you're selling the history.
Well, it was built in 1913, they said, and then earlier in the show they had said that most of the houses around there were selling for around $7.5 million, but this one was selling for more because of what it stood for, what was in it, all that kind of stuff, the history.
Before we talk about the house, why don't we bring this up? And this may be a controversial topic. Josh Flagg had the property before Altman had the property, right?
Yeah.
And Flagg could not get it done. Right. Flagg didn't sell the property.
Right.
Does that make Josh Altman a better real estate agent?
No.
Why not?
Because it could have a lot to do with timing. It could have a lot to do with economics. It could have a lot to do with...
Does it mean that Josh has a better network? Altman?
No.
Okay.
No. I just think it has to do with a lot of timing. It's just like I said, he may have had it a certain time of year. Like you list a house during the Christmas season, and people aren't looking at houses, and you lose all that time. But that's, a third of your listing normally. So, it just depends on a lot of factors. It doesn't mean anybody's any better than anybody else.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm thinking Josh Altman's going to hang that over Josh Flagg's head in the future.
Well, people can do it, but you know what? It doesn't mean anything necessarily because there's too many factors that come into play.
Well, that's interesting to hear your opinion because Josh Altman will be saying, well, absolutely, I'm the better broker.
Well, if he could get it sold, hey, he made the big commission, which he can hold over Flagg's head, but that's about the only thing.
Well, let me tell you this, too. I was very uncomfortable watching Josh Altman go in for his listing appointment this week. He had just gotten off the phone with Heather, right? And that whole situation... That was
not good, was it?
Not a good situation. He missed another appointment. Heather got really upset again. And it just showed that Josh Altman's not interested in getting married at this time. He's just not.
Well, he's got his priorities, different. And he needs to realize that. I don't think he's understanding that he can have it all. He can't push that hard. Like I said in the previous podcast that Ryan from New York found that out. You know, he met Amelia, and he said, I decided the money was not all of it.
Right.
You know, I enjoy going home at night.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Josh Altman has gotten to that point yet.
No, he doesn't. He hasn't prioritized it yet, and I don't think he's interested in he's interested in the fairy tale. Right.
There you go. I think you're right.
Living the fairy tale life, and she was part of it, but he's having to put too much work into that, and therefore he says, all right, forget it. I don't want to do it.
Well, he needs to remember there's two people in that relationship, and she's already expressed twice that she was not interested in inviting everybody he knew and everybody in his business and everything else. She wanted a small wedding that had to do with just them. And I understand that. Well, they're on two different levels. He's wanting a big show. She's wanting the real thing. And I'm kind of, it's normally the other way around.
Yeah.
The guy doesn't care, and the girl's wanting this big show. I think that says a lot about Heather. I think it says a lot about how much she cares about Josh and how intimate and private that she wants it to be, and
she
wants
does.
it, because their life is shared with the world all the time.
Yeah.
And I can kind of see what she means.
Josh just seems to be treating this whole thing like it's not a big deal, and it is. It's a bigger deal than he's.
It is, and I think
out to be.
I think he's kind of caught up in the Altman brothers. They have just recently started all that.
Sure.
And it's taken off, and he's on TV, and I just think he's got a lot of things that he's really proud of, and wanting to see, grow and that kind of thing. But he hasn't put the priority where it needs to be if he's planning to get married. So that's the way I feel about it. But
I feel the same way. I'm getting kind of tired of seeing it. I'm glad they finally made this, and maybe they will.
Well, I'm glad she came to the forefront and said, look, this isn't working.
There's no
you're
problem
missing every
in putting it off.
opportunity to be, to help me pick things, and we're not on the same level, and
right.
just all that stuff. So
no problem in putting it off at all.
No, not at all. I think it's great. Maybe they can learn to see from each other's perspectives, what they.
No, I do. I think they're still together. From the pictures that I see online, they're still together in a relationship.
Yeah,
but
sure. Well, he said she wasn't moving out. Didn't he say that?
Right. Yeah.
So they'll make it work.
One thing I wish we could have all seen this week was Josh Altman tear up and cry, but he didn't. What do you think?
Why'd you want to see him cry?
Because it's Josh Altman. It's Mr. Ego. It's I'm tough.
Excuse me. I'm thinking about Josh Flagg. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You said one thing you did like?
I wish we could have seen Altman cry.
He did tear up.
He didn't. He did not.
He did when he was talking to Matt.
Yeah, he got close. But it was the first time that we saw Altman, get a taste of his own medicine.
Yeah,
a little bit.
True. That's true.
I know a lot of people were thinking, "Oh, vengeance," here it is. But didn't happen. So
you're right.
Tough guy. Right. But I didn't. I felt kind of bad for him. Yeah, and
I did too. But I think that needed to be said. I think they need to decide what they want to do.
Matt seemed to be disappointed.
Yeah, I think he's looking forward to the wedding too.
Yeah.
So
he had just gotten his suit. Josh Altman had just gotten it. Okay, that's ridiculous. It doesn't even look good.
You didn't like it?
No.
I thought it looked
listen,
nice.
If you're going to put text in a jacket, at least make the text interesting or the font interesting. It just didn't. It looked so out of place, and to me, it devalued the suit. It was.
Oh, you didn't like it?
No, I didn't. It was a tux, right?
It was a tux, and it said "I'm sold" at the top, and then what was the bottom? What did the bottom say? I can't remember. Anyway, it had something embroidered in the bottom.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like it, but
he's a hot dog, isn't he?
Oh, he's cool. Yeah.
Anyway, he needs to sort of hit the happy medium. And I think he'd be a good guy.
Let's go ahead and talk about the conclusion of Josh Altman's listing then. What happened?
Oh, he, let's see.
It was the big, what was the name of the place again?
The Chandler, let's see, the Dorothy Chandler estate.
Dorothy Chandler estate. Listed at 10.6.
It was listed.
They end up finding, cool guy from Africa.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Was it Nigeria or Africa?
It was Africa, yeah.
I think he said Nigeria.
He had a big furniture company and had one of the largest furniture companies in Africa.
Isn't that interesting?
Oh, yeah. That was
this guy's got a big furniture, the biggest furniture store in Africa. And also that he was an oil dealer.
He was, yeah.
Which is interesting. So,
wow.
So, yeah, this guy's got the money, and he made an offer of 10.5, only $100,000 below listing price. But he wanted the furniture.
He did.
Which was interesting because normally you don't sell a furnished house in L.A., especially of that historical value.
That's right.
New York,
antiques.
New York, it's not uncommon for that, but
they have Mozart's doors.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
It's amazing. It's an incredible home with the stuff, and 3 presidents had lived in the house, or at least been at the house.
Had eaten at the dining room table.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
JFK, Lyndon Johnson, I think, and
Richard Nixon.
Richard Nixon, yeah. So, just tons of historical value. Anyway, this guy valued that historical value very much, and
it was nice.
And I thought it was cool. I thought it was great. So Josh Flagg this week anyway ended up selling that house to the guy for $10,600.
Yeah, you didn't finish it.
5-day close.
Yeah, and with all the furniture, which I was kind of surprised.
Yep. Yep.
They did it.
Yep.
So.
Well, let's take a break real quick, and we'll get back and we'll talk about Josh Flagg, and we'll talk about everything else that happened. I think David and James had an interesting episode.
They did.
And we'll talk about that right now. We'll get back.
All right.
This is the Mac Media Show. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It is free. And don't forget to like the video. Visit themacmediashow.com. Check out the schedule. Visit the swag shop. Become a guest on the show or submit a question. Do it all on themacmediashow.com. Welcome back to the Me and Review Show. We are going to talk about Josh Flagg next. And what do you think about Josh's role in this episode? He had his cousin's house, right? Mm-hmm. And it's Los Vilos or Velos? Or?
Los Feliz.
Feliz?
I'm not sure how you pronounce it.
Is that the area that the house was in?
Los Feliz? Something like that.
It's
the area.
That was the area. Okay, and we saw Josh Flagg. It was his cousin's house, and it was listed for how much?
$3,495.
$3,495.
Kind of Spanish style.
Spanish style, yeah.
It had the pool and the spa in the back, 3 levels, and
it was a nice home.
It was nice.
It was a
really
very nice home.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little older looking. They tried to keep the character of it, like when they showed the bathrooms.
Yeah.
It's like older tile and stuff, and I noticed one of the realtors said something about that.
Yeah, yeah.
I was thinking the same thing, and he said they wanted to keep the character of the original home.
Right.
Which I understand.
This was a cool place. It had a movie theater, and it had and it was a very old-timey movie theater. Very cool.
Yeah, he had made it like that. It was a new one, but they had made it along the lines of an old one.
Yeah.
Jason Priestley, who is an actor, had lived in the house and had done that.
It's really cool. Really really cool to see. And so, and what I want to talk about, and this is just funny, this is in my opinion, everybody in Josh Flagg's family is wealthy.
It seems like it.
I mean, where does all the money come from? I don't know,
but it sure seems like it. Gee, my nitty.
It's unbelievable.
I think he stays in business selling their properties.
I'm telling you. Yeah, selling his cousin's properties. Yeah. That's all he needs to do.
He's got a lot of relatives that seem to have done well.
Seems like it. Yeah. So it was. It's interesting to see more about his family and his parents. They lived in a big old house too. So I need to do some research, figure out exactly what his family background is. What business they've been in. But
yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
Seems like they funded their entire family.
Yeah, seems like the grandmother had a lot.
Yeah, Edith, she was really wealthy, and she contributed to Josh's business big time. It seems like from what we saw.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's interesting to see that, and also Josh's negotiating style. This episode was interesting. Mm-hmm. He did that thing again where we don't have to sell, so we'll stay in the house, and he does that a whole lot.
Yeah, he does.
Ends up working out from what we've seen. I mean, he got 3.3, right underneath 3.4, what he was asking, and
sure did.
I think the offer came in at 2.9. Is that right?
It did.
And he just didn't even consider it. He didn't even move. Said, here, we want 3.3, nothing less. Come up, or you don't get the house. So I find that interesting, and I think it's a good negotiating
selling technique.
Yeah. And especially when you're in that position, when you don't have to sell.
Well, he probably knows the house will sell. I mean, I think it depends on the piece of property, too. Mm-hmm. He knows it will sell eventually.
It's nice property.
It is. It was really nice.
Didn't have a view or anything, but it was very private, which was nice.
Yeah, I like that.
So that was Josh Flagg this episode. Not very exciting. Haven't gotten to Edith getting sick, which is, it's...
Well, he keeps saying she's sick. Yeah.
Right, and so we'll get to see some of that, and... saw Colton sitting in the Bentley today, which was kind of funny.
Yeah, riding the Bentley.
God, he looks like a little boy.
He does. He looks so young.
But anyways, nothing very exciting with Josh Flagg. probably one of the best parts of this episode was David and James, right, with Jay.
Yeah, they did good.
Started out, we saw David and James with the laptop. They had a big presentation, and guy comes in, says, not interested. Talk to me about this. Can you get the job done? How long is it going to take? Can we find this property? Jay is a developer, right?
Right.
And he's looking for properties to flip, and he wants to do a 10-10-30, which is where he buys a property for $10 million.
Builds it for 10.
Puts $10 million into it, and sells it for 30 and makes 10.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so you're talking big property, lots of square footage, and most of the time, big houses like that have a view. So he wanted a view, and so David and James, the whole episode, they're going around looking for properties. I thought the architect was cool.
I did too.
What'd you think about him?
I thought he was neat, and he really helped a lot too. He gave them a lot of information.
What was his name? Richard?
I don't know. I don't remember what his name was, honestly.
Cool guy. He comes out and he looked at one property, and I thought it was so interesting that he started talking about building a basement onto this place, and I mean, you have to go straight down to the ground to build a basement onto that thing,
And 3 levels. He said 2 levels above that.
It's amazing. You just think big money, I mean, that's.
Oh yeah.
Of course, you got $10 million to spend, so.
Yeah.
But he said you could increase it to 25,000 square feet and sell it for $40 million.
Yeah. So he's gonna make more off it.
Isn't that unbelievable though that you can do that?
Yeah, it is.
Had a nice view.
Had a gorgeous view. Oh, that was a beautiful view.
Yeah. So David and James, what happened? They end up finding a property for Jay.
They did.
And they negotiate, and Jay's tough, and he's a tough guy.
He offers 8.2 on a $9 million property at first, and I thought that may be really. I didn't know if they could come to that, together there.
Right. Yeah, that's a tough spot for David and James to be in, because they're trying to negotiate, and it makes for a hard negotiation. It's almost insulting to the
it is
other
at
side
the
of the
beginning.
offer.
Yeah, and then they finally got up to 8.7.
Right.
All cash, 10-day close, and he was going to wire the money and put it in the next day. So that seemed to have a big impact on him, and he bought it for 8.7, which I thought was a pretty good deal.
It's funny. We don't know if the other side of the offer. Remember the other side of the offer said that they already had an offer made at $9 million.
Yeah, they did.
Which was a 90-day close.
90-day, yeah. Which in 90 days, a lot of things can fall through.
Right.
So if you can get a bird in the hand, you can. Like he said, I'll put the money in there tomorrow. So he knew the money was there. It was sold.
Yeah, I found that interesting.
Yeah, cash talks. They used to say cash talks and beep walks.
Ah, I see what you're doing there. Okay. Creative. Only here on Me and Ree.
I didn't say it.
Well, it was funny. I saw Madison Hildebrand tweeted yesterday, and he tweeted to Bravo, at Bravo or whatever, and said something like, not this week either, or something.
Oh, Foot. So he's going to be either the next.
They're keeping him for the finale. I'm telling you. Aaron tweeted me, by the way.
Oh, he did?
Let me give Aaron's message to everyone.
All right.
I called Aaron out, who edits or is on the team of editors for this show. Maybe the lead editor. But he tweets me, and I called him out the past 2 weeks, talking about he knows all the secrets, and that is, must be cool. And we started talking about it, but he didn't give anything away. He just said, listen to the podcast, thought it was great. Thanks for the shout out. He says they know all the secrets and behind the scenes stuff, but he has to sign an NDA, which is expected, right? Non-disclosure agreement. And so he can't talk about it. Said he wish he could, but he said there's tons of great moments. And he said next episode is probably one of his favorites, and it is his baby.
Which is next week.
Right.
Okay.
Well, no, I think he was referring to last night's episode, which was good, Aaron.
It was good.
It was a good episode, but just lots of development.
I like that.
Yeah, it's all going to come to a head this season finale. See, I think we'll get to tie up some loose ends on some of this stuff.
Are we on episode 10?
I don't know what we're on.
I've got to go back and look that up. I think we're on 10.
Yeah, I always know when I go back and post these things.
Yeah.
But anyways, I don't know. Are we missing anything? What else happened this week?
I don't think so. I think, everything sold. It was really good. Yeah, everybody had good luck this week.
Right.
Yeah, it was fun watching. The one thing that was funny to me was when David and James were riding through the neighborhood, and they looked up and they saw that person on the second level.
What is that about, huh?
They just sat and looked and said, "Is he real?"
He looks so real.
And they hollered at that girl, and she said that he was 17 years old. He'd been up there 17 years. which is kind of funny.
Yeah, it's weird.
But, anyway, I thought that was kind of funny.
It looks
they were
so
looking,
real.
just staring at him, and
yeah,
that was funny though.
it was weird. Yeah, so real looking.
Yeah, that was a funny part in there.
Yeah, it was.
Boy, everybody made some good commissions this time.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Altman Brothers got $265 for that place.
I know it.
Yeah.
And then Dave and James got something like $215, didn't they? Somewhere in there.
Yeah,
everybody
they did
got
good.
a lot of money this week, which was kudos to them. It was
Yeah,
good job. Good
yeah.
job.
Yeah, they do a good
It was
job.
fun watching y'all negotiate.
Yep.
We enjoyed it.
What amazes me is that's a year's salary for some people.
Oh, yeah.
Well, for a lot of
A
people.
lot of people, yeah.
Majority
It
of
is.
people, yeah.
But
Which
it's
is,
what you choose to go into, and all that.
Hmm.
Hey, did you hear, Mac, that they're going to come out with a $1 million listing in San Francisco?
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Oh, did we? I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm
I think we
drawing
did.
a blank.
I don't know. Maybe we didn't. $1 million listing San Francisco, which is going to be another one that's just like, ugh. But it could be good.
It could be. I don't want them to get too many.
That's what I'm saying. Ugh, for
It'll get too boring.
I'm
because
kind of
real estate's real
afraid-
estate. I'm just not really wanting to have too many characters in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to have your few, and you watch them, and you can see them grow and change. But you can't keep up with so many. Trying to people will lose interest and they'll quit watching. I think.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of went like that because it's.
I mean, I'm no expert, but I think
You
I
get
would.
too many. I mean, I was watching a thing on Miami today, actually. It was a after show for it was that Watch What Happened Live with what's his name?
Oh,
Andy Cohen. Yeah, and they had the three guys or the two guys and the girl from Miami, Sam, Chad, and Chris. They were all in his Andy's show, and I don't know. It's kind of refreshing to see them again because it was different.
You're right.
These seasons go on for so long, and it's still a great episode every week. But the middle sections, like what we're in right now, the meat of it, it's just lots of development, lots of selling homes, and just moving on. Because they try and end the storylines for the season finale.
Yeah.
So it kind of feels like it drags a little bit, but it doesn't because it's still so exciting.
It is. It's interesting.
Different homes like this week, you had the Dorothy Chandler. So did I say that right?
Yeah.
That was good. Man, I just nailed that.
You did.
Yeah. So it was good. But interesting. We're still moving on. We still got some plot line stuff going on, but great houses this week. Great houses, but. San Francisco may be interesting because that's they have a particular style of real estate out there.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that's just another part of the country they want to show because real estate is different somewhat, around the country. But I just don't want it to get too crowded.
Yeah. Well, we shall see.
Yeah. Be interesting to see who they pick out there.
Yep.
If they include girls, if they include guys, whatever it's going to be.
Right.
Be interesting.
Well, another good episode this week.
Was.
And I can't wait to see Madison come back. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see Edith get sick, but
Me either.
you're kind of interested to know the details.
Yeah. I'm so sad about that.
Yeah, so I'm anxious to see those too.
Yeah.
But other than that, what else do you think we should talk about?
I think that covered everything.
That's my thoughts for this week.
Yeah, it was really good.
You gave it an 8.5
I think
out of 10.
8.5. I think it was good. They had a lot of business interactions in there, which is what I love.
Yep.
And I, like to see how they do it, how they negotiate the offers and counter offers. I like to see that. It's interesting. So they had a lot of that this week, and I'm thinking that probably next week we'll have a little bit more of Josh Altman and Heather. Probably what they're deciding to do. He suggested they go to counseling, couples counseling or something like that.
Right.
So, possibly they'll go and they'll be able to work out their differences, come to some, happy medium about what they want to do for a wedding, and respect each other,
Yeah. I think Josh trying to be 80% of this relationship, and Heather's, Heather wants to be equals, and Josh is taking too much control, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. He's just caught up in what he's doing, I think. I don't think he's understood what he's done. I mean, he's never been married before, and he's never, this is new to him, and so I'm thinking that's probably what he did. So, Josh, wake up.
We're talking to you, Josh.
I wouldn't lose Heather. She's
It'll be
a sweet
interesting.
girl.
Yeah, it's cool to have somebody else do what you're doing as well.
Yeah, y'all have so much in common.
Yeah. So we will see what happens.
Yeah.
But that's it for this episode. I think we've covered everything, given our thoughts. And until next time, when we get some more action, we will see you next Thursday. And tweet us at the Mac Media Show and let us know if we forgot something. But I think we covered everything.
I think we did, yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and I feel comfortable. Good where we are. I'm excited to see what happens, though. I think going to counseling will be interesting. You know what? We learned that New York is coming back summer 2015.
Summer?
Yeah, so we got a while.
Oh, my gosh. I thought that would be back before then.
No, they're probably filming this winter.
Wow, I was thinking they came back in January for some reason.
No, they follow them all year long. Now, Celebrity Apprentice is coming back this fall, I believe.
Is it?
Yeah, so maybe we'll cover that too.
Okay. We'll see. Yeah.
We will see. But until next week, we'll see you. Hope you have a great week.
Yeah.
And
thanks for listening.
Yep.
Thanks for sending the tweets. Thanks for being so positive. It's been a good experience.
Yeah.
It's fun.
What, are you reviewing a restaurant over there? It's just a great, wonderful experience.
No. See you on YouTube.
No.
Uh-huh.
Well, there, among other places. God, our intros and outros are just wonderful, aren't they?
That's one place.
No, it's themacmediashow.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, the channel. Right? Is it the channel?
Just stop. Just. See y'all next week.
Okay. Have a great week.
This is the Mac Media Show. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It is free. And don't forget to like the video. Visit themacmediashow.com. Check out the schedule. Visit the swag shop. Become a guest on the show or submit a question. Do it all on themacmediashow.com.